Ever since Sony had a Japan only state of play and then subsequently announced a Japan only PlayStation 5, I would have predicted that the reason they are doing this is because they were getting a lot of blows from Nintendo. Why are you running? Why are you running PlayStation 5? But we'll talk about that a little later. We will talk about how Nintendo is giving PlayStation 5 a sound beating in their home country of Japan. Today, however, we are beginning by seeing a PlayStation fan being exposed to the greatest degree. Yes, I love seeing these ponies be caught in their own web of lies.
Steam is anti-consumer and the entire video is just BS? I've never said that Steam is anti-consumer. What the frick are you talking about?
You sure about that?
I can buy a co-op game and share it with my wife. She can play on one, I can play on the other at the same time. I can't do that on Steam. Can't. I gotta buy the game twice. Steam's anti-consumer.
Say that again.
Steam's anti-consumer.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
What are you talking about? I've never said that Steam is anti-consumer.
You're lying. That is a lie. What you just call that? La la. Lie. Like a lion bites you.
I've said that they're the most consumer-friendly platform with respect to refunds, and I've argued that we don't have proper protections as consumers on the consoles, and that we should argue for that, as evidenced by the fact that they can take licenses away, which is relative to the Stop Killing Games initiative. Let me guess, you saw a clip and someone's lying about me, false framing. Did you even watch what I said, or is it ripped from context or reacted to by some Neanderthal who couldn't string a logical argument together if you paid him $1 million? Like, where did you see this alleged video where I've said that Steam is anti-consumer? Oh, I've been hoping for that one for a while. I have just been waiting for someone to type that. Steam is pro-consumer. There it is. That's magnificent. Oh boy. Have you ever looked? I'm really savoring this. Have you ever looked at the contracts that they make the devs sign? Have you ever looked at them? I'm just curious. Do you know what's in there? Do you know what they basically do with pricing? Family game sharing is pro-consumer. I do that on my PlayStation. It's easier on my PlayStation. Do you want to know why? We can play the same game. PlayStation is, in that hemisphere, PlayStation is better than Steam. I can buy a co-op game and share it with my wife. She can play on one, I can play on the other at the same time. I can't do that on Steam. Can't. I gotta buy the game twice. Steam's anti-consumer.
There you have it. Caught in its own web of lies. You see, when it is you lie so much, sometimes you forgot what you lied about. So we have one pony not even remembering the lie that he told, and then we have another PlayStation fan, a PlayStation worker, finally saying what we all knew about the Game Awards. You see, PlayStation fans would have you believe that the Game Awards are the end-all, be-all of gaming. That's the only way you can tell whether a game is good or not. This is what these ponies said. Well, Alana Pierce have a little message for you ponies. Listen carefully.
About how voting in the Game Awards actually works for those who don't know. In the short, most of you do already know this to a degree, but maybe don't let it sink in as much as you should. It's not an award show. Genuinely, the name is a lie at this point. It is not an award show.
I beg your pardon?
It's about 3 hours of trailers, and to be totally candid, I love that. I do, in fact, enjoy my 3 hours of flashy game reveals on a stage in which Jeff Keighley wears cool sneakers and Chris Judge speaks for 12 minutes.
Joseph, we're excited to have you here tonight.
Well, get me started, Jeff.
Genuinely, I really love the Game Awards. I'm always really excited about it, and I recognize how difficult it is to put together, and I do think that Jeff deserves the credit for that task, and for how much of a staple this show has become. I look forward to it every single time. But it is just a bunch of marketing. And as such, I don't take it remotely seriously as an award show. It doesn't take itself seriously as an award show.
Yes, the PlayStation community would have you believe that the Jeff Keighley Game Awards is the end-all, be-all, deciding factor of what makes a game good or not. But come on, it is good for all the new trailers that is being announced, and I would be doing a live stream for that Game Awards just to see some of the new trailers. However, we will be having our own award show. Yes, we will be having the Day One award show. Yes, this is an award show by the people for the people. So don't forget, send in your categories. For example, the best pony bot of the year, which Xbox game PlayStation fans bought at full price and it broke records. I mean, different categories like that. And also, you can also suggest who would you like from the community to be presenters. I'll be hitting some guys up via their inbox so that seeing if they want to get in and present for these game awards. That being said, guys, we know that Black Friday is coming up, and you might know someone who wants to get into podcasting. You might know someone who, they game a lot and they need a new gaming headset. Well, have no fear, because Fifine is here. Yes, Fifine, that wonderful company, would have sent me 3 of their headsets to try out. And let me just say that this is a very good deal for Black Friday as well. So right now, in the Fifine line of headsets, gaming headsets, we are seeing that they have a Black Friday special going on. And let me just say, guys, I would have tested out all of these headsets, and guess what? For the price during Black Friday, you are getting a really, really good deal. So right away, we see the H9 headset. That is the most basic headset. Then we have the H6 headset, a slightly premium. It have, the RGB lights and so forth. And then we have the big boy, the H13 gaming headset. Now, the H13 has the most features. However, I prefer the H6. It has some cool lighting. In addition to that, it feels really, really good. So if it is you are looking to give someone a gift, if it is you're looking to purchase your own gaming headset because your own is not working well, consider the Fifine Ampli gaming headset. I'm telling you that you won't regret. It's comfortable, it sounds good, and for the price, this is a steal of a deal. I'll put all the links below in the comment section or in the description of the video. So let's get back to the video. One of the things that are still baffling to me is that there are a large group of PlayStation fans who still believe that Sony is going to take their games off of PC. Yes, since the rumor that was debunked by just sense and logic that Sony was pulling their games or no longer going to put any of their tentpole titles onto PC, these ponies still have the hope that PlayStation eventually take their first party games off of PC or don't put any more on PC. Well, I mean, that is really a pipe dream, because this article says something completely different to what these ponies' hopes and dreams are.
PlayStation has made over $1 billion on Steam. Firm claims Sony's decision to release PlayStation games on Steam seems to be paying off. According to one analytics firm, the company has made over $1.2 billion since it began putting first-party games on the platform. In its latest report, Alinea Analytics goes into detail on the success of PlayStation Studios titles. They mention that the number comes after Valve's cut of sales is taken into account. The firm says that, according to their estimates, over $1.5 billion in revenue has been generated in total. Of that total, Sony received $1.2 billion, while Valve has come away with at least $350 million. For Valve's portion of the cuts, They take 30% of sales initially. Once a game reaches $10 million in sales, that drops to 25%. After $50 million, it falls a bit further to 20%. Still, even with the profits that are going to Valve, Sony has to be pleased with what PlayStation games are generating on the platform. 5 games lead the way for PlayStation on Steam. Going into their estimates, again, it's important to note that many of these numbers haven't been fully confirmed by Sony. Alinea reports that Helldivers 2 is the most successful first-party game on Steam. Since its release in February 2024, the game has sold 12.7 million copies. In a distant second is Horizon Zero Dawn, which sold 4.5 million copies. That's then followed by God of War at 4.2 million, Days Gone at 3.4 million, and Spider-Man Remastered with 2.7 million copies sold. Despite the success of these games, Alinea cautions that the novelty of PlayStation games on Steam is wearing off a bit.
Again, if Sony made $1 billion on Steam, why would Sony want to take their games off of Steam? And I mean, it makes no sense. But these ponies are hoping and these ponies are dreaming. And guess what? Hopes and dreams are for fairy tales. Finally, when we look at this new report, we are seeing that the PlayStation console itself, the sales in Japan has collapsed. Yes, prior to the Nintendo Switch launching in Japan, Sony was killing it every week, every month with the Famitsu chart, even beating the Nintendo Switch, the OG Switch. We know that Xbox never really would have charted well in Japan, so they are not really in the discussion. However, we have seen that here since the Switch 2 would have launched in Japan, for some reason, the PlayStation 5 persons aren't buying it. And we are talking there is a big gap between what Nintendo is doing and what PlayStation is doing when it comes to sales. Listen to what some persons are saying concerning these sales.
PS5 sales collapse in Japan as Sony readies overdue rescue plan. Sony's new language-lock PS5 console launches in Japan today, and it couldn't arrive at a better moment. The latest Famitsu sales data for Japan reveals the manufacturer's machine sold just 855 units last week, while sales likely slowed in anticipation for the new cut-price model. The number looks apocalyptic compared to the Switch 2's total of 549 units during the same period. For those who missed the announcement, the new PS5 console releasing specifically in Japan will have its language locked and will only support local PSN accounts. This is to stop the unit being exported overseas to locations like mainland China. The weekend paired with increasing hardware prices has hit Sony's next-gen console particularly hard, where it's fallen way behind Nintendo's family of hybrid formats. Recent reports claimed previous PlayStation management was not fussed about its domestic market. But new CEO Hideaki Nishino, a Japanese executive, is desperate to improve the platform holder's position. While it's unlikely Sony will ever be able to usurp Nintendo in its home territory, the hope is that this new model, which cuts the price significantly, from 72 yen, $980, $473, to 55 yen, $000, $350, will at least give the console some momentum again. We should get the first few days of sales for this new model in next week's Famitsu.
So there you have it, guys. No one is talking about this. All the PlayStation YouTubers, fans on Twitter, they are very much silent that right now persons aren't buying the PlayStation 5 as much in Japan. No wonder why it is they had this state of play specifically to target Japan, because sales are dying. If it is you could make 5,000 sales in 1 week or 1 month, compared to Nintendo 100,000 in sale, I mean, that is a big, huge gap. But this is what the ponies want to keep silent. But don't worry, that's why I'm here. I am here to expose them all. So guys, let me hear what you are thinking. Do you think Sony has a chance to come back in Japan when it comes to, selling at least 50 to 60,000 units as back in the day? Let me know in the comment sections below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.